So that means that throughout all time, the ones who have the ones who are the saved group, they are the majority, and they all have the same creed as the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So one example of that is that the majority of the people who identify as Muslims, they say that Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiyallahu anhu is the first rightful caliph, meaning that Abu Bakr as-Siddiq radiyallahu anhu, he was the one that was supposed to be the first caliph. And there are some people who claim to be Muslim, they say no, that's not who was supposed to be the first caliph. They say the first caliph was supposed to be Al-Imam Ali radiyallahu anhu. And so those people are a minority. So that means they're misguided. Because the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when he was asked who was the saved group, he said the vast majority. Yani of the people who claim to be Muslim, the vast majority, they are the saved group. Another example, which is something that I've come across recently, is that the majority of the people who identify as Muslim, they believe, which is the correct belief, the same belief as the companions and the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they believe that the time to break the fast is at Maghrib time, when the sun sets. Why? Because when the sun sets, that's the beginning of the night. Now there is a group of people that they are a minority. This group of people, they claim that you don't break your fast at Maghrib. They claim that you break your fast at Isha. Na'udhu billah. So that's another example of misguidance, yani of that the people who they are the minority. So the majority of the people who claim to be Muslim, they are on the correct creed, they have the correct belief and the correct understanding, and there's a minority that they're just different. And so that minority, they're misguided. That's how we know, that's how we can know these things. So alhamdulillah for being part of Ahlul Sunnah. And we're going to continue on with our subject matter that is usually for Mondays. Now, because of Ramadan, and because of the time change actually, that's going to occur soon inshallah. Maybe in about 6 days, the time will change. And the time will move forward about an hour. So the time for this class will be changed inshallah. Just stay tuned for updates. But we should continue on with these classes except for Wednesdays, because Wednesdays we're going to be having a Ramadan program on Wednesdays. Is it Wednesdays? Wednesdays, Fridays, Saturday, and Sunday. So that those days we'll have the Ramadan lesson. But for defending the chosen, we'll continue that for the Monday. And we'll continue Abu Shuja' inshallah after Ramadan. Or maybe we'll allocate another time slot for it. But for now, we're going to keep this class of defending the chosen for now. So we were talking about refuting some of the misguided things that some people say about Prophet Adam alayhi salam. So we refuted the so-called theory of evolution. We said that Prophet Adam alayhi salam, he was created in the best shape and the best form and the complete and final form, and he did not have any physical defects, and he knew the names of everything on earth, and he knew how to manufacture clothing, and he knew how to get the vegetation and things from the earth, and he knew how to do everything that he needed on this earth in order to survive. So he taught his children what they needed to know to survive, and he taught them what they needed in order to make it to paradise. So Prophet Adam alayhi salam, he taught his children what they needed to know for this dunya and in the hereafter. We mentioned that Prophet Adam alayhi salam, he was the first prophet and messenger. We also mentioned that Prophet Adam alayhi salam did not walk around the earth naked. Rather, he descended from paradise wearing clothes. We mentioned that Prophet Adam alayhi salam, he was forgiven when after he ate from the tree, he was forgiven, and so there is no such thing as original sin. Then we started talking about Prophet Ibraaheem alayhi salam, and we mentioned that Prophet Ibraaheem alayhi salam, he never worshipped other than Allah. And so we mentioned that the verses in the Quran that say هَذَا رَبِّي, referring to Prophet Ibraaheem when he first he saw a star, then he saw the moon, then he saw the sun, and he was trying to convince the people of Babylon, and the people that he was sent to call them to Al-Islam. He was trying to convince them that those things do not deserve to be worshipped. So he was asking a rhetorical question. He wasn't affirming or stating that he thought that the star was his Lord, and then when the star disappeared and he saw the moon, that supposedly he thought that the moon was his Lord, and then after the moon disappeared and then the sun showed up, that he thought the sun was his Lord. No, that never happened. So instead, what Prophet Ibraaheem alayhi salam was saying, هَذَا رَبِّي, was to refute those people and to let them know that those things do not deserve to be worshipped because they change. Also, we talked about how Prophet Ibraaheem alayhi salam never lied. Because like we said, the prophets, they are clear from lying. They are protected from lying. Because lying is something that negates prophethood. Because the prophets, they came to tell the people what they need to know to be safe in the hereafter. And these things have to do with the unseen. Has to do with some things that haven't happened yet, like Judgment Day and the existence of paradise and hellfire. So if a prophet was a liar, this would be unwise to send someone who was a liar to carry your message. So to say about a prophet that they lied, it would be like saying that Allah is a fool for sending a liar as a messenger. So none of the prophets ever lied. This is a fundamental essential. This is among the basic things that even an elementary school aged Muslim would learn in his education. And so that Muslim, growing up knowing that, learning that the prophets never lie, and that that it's impossible that they would be attributed with lying. So that Muslim that learns that and understands that, when he comes across certain texts and when he learns certain things, or he might recite a verse of the Quran, or he might read a hadith, he would know that, it does not mean that Prophet Ibraaheem alayhi salam lied. Instead, they would know that it has a meaning other than that. So Alhamdulillah, that's what we were talking about last. Just a quick recap, quick review. And we're going to continue with that, explain more about that. So basically it has been, some people have lied about Prophet Ibraaheem alayhi salam and accused him of lying, wal-'iyadu billah. They have claimed that he told several lies, and this is blasphemous, of course. This takes the person out of Islam. If they believe that Prophet Ibraaheem alayhi salam told a lie, then they exit from Islam. And this is the negative consequence of ignorance. The person who did not learn the personal obligatory knowledge about Islam, he would be someone who might misunderstand and think that Prophet Ibraaheem told a lie. But the person who learned the obligatory knowledge as they are supposed to, they would know there's no way that a prophet would be attributed with lying, because this negates prophethood. So basically, some people, they claim that Prophet Ibraaheem alayhi salam, when he said that he is saqim, they claim that he lied, which is not true. When he destroyed the idols, and he destroyed them into little pieces, and he attributed the destruction of those idols to the largest idol. Some people accuse Prophet Ibraaheem of lying, which is not the case. And when Prophet Ibraaheem alayhi salam was passing through the lands of the evil Pharaoh, and that Pharaoh wanted to, rape his wife, Prophet Ibraaheem alayhi salam told him that she was his sister in Islam, about Lady Sarah. So that some people, they accuse Prophet Ibraaheem of lying. So we explained that when Prophet Ibraaheem alayhi salam, when he saw that his people, that they are attached to their delusions and that they are clinging to worshipping the idols, he made his intention that he was going to destroy those idols, and that he was going to do something that would refute his people, and that would show them with the clear evidence that they were misguided and that what they were upon is falsehood. And he had hoped that they would awaken from their heedlessness and from their delusion and from their misguidance. And so when his people, they went out to a hedonistic festival, because as you know, the idol worshippers, they're all about debauchery, they're all about fulfilling the carnal desires, they're all about extravagance, they're all about sexual perversion. When they went out to do their festival or whatever, Prophet Ibraaheem alayhi salam, he stayed behind. And so he went into the place where those idols were kept, and he destroyed them. And then he put the axe on the biggest idol. And so when those people came back and they saw that their idols were destroyed, they came back and they found that their idols were destroyed. And so immediately, what did they do? They accused Prophet Ibraaheem alayhi salam. So when those people returned from their festival, they found what happened to their idols. They were shocked, they were astonished, they were outraged, and so they were wondering who did this. This is mentioned in the Quran. قَالُوا مَنْ فَعَلَ هَذَا بِآلِهَتِنَا إِنَّهُ لَمِنَ الظَّالِمِينَ. Which means that they were asking, who did this to our idols, and they were accusing the one who did it of being unjust, when in reality there's nothing unjust about it. So anyway, they suspected that it was Prophet Ibraaheem alayhi salam, that he did that to their idols, because they knew that he was against it and he was calling them to al-Islam, and they were refusing. And so that news, it reached the evil king Nimrod, and basically he gathered everyone, they got together, they summoned Prophet Ibraaheem alayhi salam so that they could hear what he has to say. So basically it was like an event. It was like, bring him, and everybody was gathered, and so they wanted to hear from him what he had to say. They basically wanted to hear his words. They wanted to hear what he had to say. So they all came to that one place, and they all wanted to hear what Prophet Ibraaheem had to say, because of this incident. And so Prophet Ibraaheem alayhi salam was in a position, in an emphasized position, a sure position, a certain position, to present evidence to them so that they can see the truth and so that they can follow the proof. And so that they can see that what they were doing, which is worshiping the idols, is falsehood, and that those idols, they don't create any benefit or any harm. And so the people were gathered. It was a big gathering, and it was a large gathering of non-Muslims, and they want to get retribution from Prophet Ibraaheem alayhi salam because they suspected him of degrading and humiliating their idols. So they came to Prophet Ibraaheem alayhi salam in that way, like in this large gathering of people and in front of their king Nimrod, and they asked him. And Prophet Ibraaheem alayhi salam, he responded with what is mentioned in the Quran, verse 62 of Surah Al-Anbiya. So this is what they asked him. They said, قالوا أأنت فعلت هذا بآلهتنا يا إبراهيم. So, which basically means, did you do this to our gods, O Ibrahim? And so here, Prophet Ibraaheem alayhi salam, he found the opportunity to present to them the evidence and show them that what they are upon is falsehood, and to clarify for them the silliness of their creed and the falsehood of their religion. And so he responded to them with what is mentioned in the Quran, verse 63 of Surah Al-Anbiya. قال بل فعله كبيرهم هذا فاسألوهم إن كانوا ينطقون. And so basically the meaning is, he said, rather the big idol is, and the one who is attributed with the doing, or the attribution of the action is to that big idol. Ask them if they speak. Ask them if they are speaking. And so this is a silencing refutation. This is an evidence that silences them, because those statues are inanimate objects and they are unable to speak. And these statues, they do not deserve to be worshipped, because they do not create harm, nor do they create benefit. And they don't help anyone or anything. And so let it be known that the saying of Prophet Ibraaheem alayhi salam in what is mentioned in this verse of the Quran, بَلْ فَعَلَهُ كَبِيرُهُمْ هَذَا, is not a lie. Rather, it is the truth inwardly and outwardly. Because the biggest idol is what motivated or caused Prophet Ibraaheem alayhi salam to destroy the other idols, because of his displeasure with those idols and with that big idol. So he attributed the action to that big idol by way of the intellectual the figurative mental attribution. And so this is a type of discourse that is widely used in the styles of speech. And so he attributed the action to what was the cause of the event, the cause of the occurrence. And so this only occurred because of their exaggeration in honoring and aggrandizing and beautifying the appearance of that statue. And so that motivated and pushed Prophet Ibraaheem alayhi salam to destroy the little idols and to degrade the big idol. Because they, once those people, once they have verified that their biggest idol, which is the one that they worshipped the most and honored the most and that they held to a higher status in their hearts, once it became known to them that it didn't protect the rest of the statues and it didn't stop the harm from happening to their other statues, and that it itself was mocked and degraded, those people would wake up from their falsehood creed and they would see that that statue does not deserve to be worshipped. So, attributing the action to that idol in a figurative way is not a lie. Because the prophets, it is impossible that they lie, because among the necessary attributes of the prophets is honesty, to tell the truth, and so they never lie. And so the idol worshippers, they began to blame themselves because they left their idols without someone to protect them or someone to guard them. And so they came back and they said to Ibraaheem what is mentioned in the Quran, verse 65, لَقَدْ عَلِمْتَ مَا هَؤُلَاءِ يَنْطِقُونَ, which means, you know, O Ibraaheem, that these statues that they worship, that we worship, that they do not speak. So how could you ask us to ask them? And so when they concurred and confirmed for themselves that those statues that they have taken as their gods and worshipped besides Allah, that they are impotent and incapable of speaking and of hearing, and they admitted that they are incapable and that they have no cognizance and they have no power and they have no life. Upon that, when they agreed to that, then the evidence was established against them by Prophet Ibraaheem alayhi salam, and he silenced them with a silencing refutation. So he told them what's mentioned in the Quran, verse 66, قَالَ أَفَتَعْبُدُونَ مِن دُونِ اللَّهِ مَا لَا يَنفَعُكُمْ شَيْئًا وَلَا يَضُرُّكُمْ أُفٍّ لَكُمْ وَلِمَا تَعْبُدُونَ مِن دُونِ اللَّهِ أَفَلَا تَعْقِلُونَ. And he also told them, وَاللَّهُ خَلَقَكُمْ وَمَا تَعْمَلُونَ. So here is very deep and sharp rhetoric against the idol worshippers. So verse 66, it means that Prophet Ibraaheem alayhi salam told them, do you worship something other than Allah that does not benefit you and does not harm you? He said uffin to them, which is a term that and it shows like rejection and that what they're doing is unacceptable. And he said uff to them and to what they worship other than Allah. Will they not use their minds? And then he told them, Allah created you and your deeds. Among their deeds is what? Is the building of those statues. So Prophet Ibraaheem alayhi salam is telling them, Allah created you and what you make with your hands. And so at that instance or at that time, they were defeated by the rhetoric of Prophet Ibraaheem alayhi salam, and he silenced them with the evidence, and so they did not find any evidence against him or to respond with. And so this was Prophet Ibraaheem alayhi salam was praised for this in the Quran verse 83, وَتِلْكَ حُجَّتُنَا آتَيْنَاهَا إِبْرَاهِيمَ عَلَى قَوْمِهِ نَرْفَعُ دَرَجَاتٍ مَّن نَّشَاءُ إِنَّ رَبَّكَ حَكِيمٌ عَلِيمٌ. So basically, there's no way that you can say about Prophet Ibrahim that he lied when he said that the big idol is the one who did it, meaning that he is the reason, the big idol, the big statue that the idol worshippers had, is the cause for those little ones being broken and for the axe to be hung on it, yani to degrade it and to mock it. So we refute those that they claim that Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam told a lie. He didn't tell a lie. Now there is a hadith that is narrated that the one who takes the literal understanding of that, they would have a misunderstanding that would lead them to blasphemy. And this hadith is from the mutashabih. There's a hadith narrated, it says, كَذَبَ ثَلَاثَ كَذِبَاتٍ. So this is a hadith that is mutashabih, and it is necessary that it be given a ta'wil, a correct ta'wil, if that hadith, if the chains of that hadith were confirmed. Some scholars of hadith, they rejected it and they said it's not confirmed. And some scholars of hadith, like Al-Razi, they interpreted it. And so what is apparent from that is that the scholars, they have two approaches to this hadith. Number one is that they give it an alternative explanation. Yani they mentioned the term, they gave an alternative explanation to the term kadhib or kadhibat, which means yani what is other than a lie, yani what is other than an actual lie. And some, they just rejected the hadith altogether. So the scholars, they took those two approaches, and none of them ever said that Prophet Ibrahim actually told a lie. So no Imam of Ahlul Sunnah said that Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam told an actual lie. Not about Prophet Ibrahim or about any other prophet. So what some misguided people or some ignorant people, they understand from the hadith that he actually told a lie, that he actually told 3 lies. These people, obviously, they are misguided and they're attributing something that is not befitting to attribute to a prophet. They're attributing it to Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam. It is necessary that the prophets be attributed with honesty and truth and telling the truth, and it is impossible that they tell a lie because this would tarnish their credibility. So the prophets, that they are protected from lying, and they are also protected from having a slip of the tongue, whether that be in a religious matter or whether that be in a worldly matter. So it has been confirmed that Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam, he did not tell a lie, and that it is slander of Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam to accuse him of a lie. As for the hadith that is narrated in Sahih al-Bukhari, that says, لم يكذب إبراهيم عليه السلام إلا 3 كذبات ثنتين منهن في ذات الله عز وجل وقوله إني سقيم وقوله بل فعله كبيرهم هذا. So this, and obviously the meaning of the hadith is not that he lied. So the meaning of the hadith, like we said, is that Prophet Ibraaheem alayhi salam, he did not lie, he did not actually tell a lie, and rather that this is just, if the hadith is confirmed, and if that narration is confirmed, you have to make ta'weel to that narration, and you have to give an alternative interpretation to that hadith. So this is not, so the hadith does not mean that it is that he actually lied. It means that it's things that appear as lies, and that apparently, or someone might think that they are lies, but in reality they are not. And we explained that when he said inni saqim, because Prophet Ibraaheem alayhi salam, he used to have this reoccurring sickness that happened to him. And so when his people asked him about going out to the festival, he was telling them that he is going to be sick and that he's going to get that sickness, that he has that condition, so he's not going to go. And then when he said بَلْ فَعَلَهُ كَبِيرُهُمْ هَذَا, when he attributed the breaking of the idols to the large idol, we explained that this is a style of eloquence when you attribute the action to the cause of the action. That's actually truth. And when Prophet Ibraaheem alayhi salam was passing by that land with his wife, and he knew that the ruler of that land, he had a specific obsession with fornicating with men's wives. So when he was asked about Lady Sarah, he said, Innaha ukhti, meaning she is my sister, meaning my sister in Islam, which is actually true. So Prophet Ibraaheem alayhi salam is absolved from those three things. So again, when he said inni saqim, it means I will become sick, and as is my norm, because he had a condition where he had this constant fever that would come and go. And so during that time, and is when he would get that fever. So that's why he said, Inni saqim. And when he said that the big idol is the one who destroyed the idols, he means that that's the reason for that big idol. I mean, that big idol is the reason why those idols were destroyed. And Allah Ta'ala knows best. We'll stop here for now. We'll continue inshallah next week. If there are no questions, we'll conclude. طيب نهلل لا إله إلا الله اللهم صل على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم ربي اغفر لي وللمؤمنين والمؤمنات بارك الله فيكم السلام عليكم